for this too.
My name is Patricia Limjap, and I'm the Program Director for the Asian Pacific Islander American Scholarship Fund.
And what can you tell us about today?
You know, today is the close of all the farmers events. I've now been to San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco. Have I said San Diego? Oh, Houston, Texas as well. So I've been all over for these farmers events, and this was, the most powerful because we heard Senator Meek-Loa's story, and I think that this is the first time that we've had a senator show up to one of these events. So I think it's really important that, Asian American students hear other stories of other Asian Americans who have succeeded and, done something with themselves, and, if she's a member of Congress or if she's a businesswoman, or an insurance agent at Farmers, I think that they're powerful stories and they need to hear it. So today was a great day.
What can you tell us about your organization's role in this? We've heard a lot about farmers today, but how do you, is there funding from your end or part of the selection process? What is the
APIASF. I know it's a really, really long title. But no, the Asian Pacific Islander American Scholarship Fund has co-branded scholarships, and Farmers is one of them, but we also have co-branded scholarships with AT&T, Wells Fargo, we have Hilton, we have Target, just a number of different companies and organizations that will come to us and say, we want to co-brand a scholarship with you. And some of them have really specific criteria, like United Healthcare Foundation is actually looking for students who are interested in going into, the biomedical sort of field, like they want to become nurses and doctors and things like that. And then we have, people like Farmers who are really just interested in somebody who wants to go out into the community and do something really powerful. So we do have some very specific scholarships and some sort of broader range scholarships like Farmers. So, yep. And this year we're going to be handing out 365 scholarships, totaling about $750,000. So quite a bit. There's 32 of them are Farmers scholarships, but we have a broad range of scholarships, like I said. But a total of about over 350, and giving out above and over $750,000 in scholarship money.
What should the public know about the organization, about whether it's looking over criteria to have their own children apply for one, or whether it's being involved as a volunteer or as a donor, or what else?
All of those things are very important to the success of APIASF. We are looking for community readers, so people who want to look at student scholarship essays and their application as a whole. Each scholarship is reviewed 2 times by a community reviewer. So we have 2 people looking at all the thousands and thousands of scholarship applications that we have to make sure that they're qualified. So the students that you interviewed today have gone through this rigorous process of a review of their application, of their grades, of their financial aid status. It's a really long process. Donors obviously are very important. We do have large corporations like Farmers and Hilton and AT&T and Target, but anybody that's looking to contribute even a small amount, that small amount will go to scholarships. So it's really, really important.
Not a lot of overhead then,
No. Very, very tiny overhead.
Your board's probably selected from people all over the country?
Yes, we are all over. We have board members in California and Seattle. We have board members in D.C. who are really powerful in the Asian American community and really want to stay involved and be right at the heart of what's going on for Asian American students. So,
And I'm not sure if it was mentioned, the number of applicants versus the ones that were selected today.
Yeah, we had a total of about 6,000 students, over 6,000 students start the application. And then, like I said, we'll have about 300 or so students actually get the scholarship.
But
So really,
of the 8 here,
yeah.
it wasn't they weren't part of a, there's a regional selection. A certain number of, out of all the applicants in the Midwest or in Minnesota, that they were, is it just a pool nationally? They could have all been from Houston for all or how does that break down?
Maybe I don't understand the question.
Well, when you look at financial need and all the criteria and all the criteria involved in selecting somebody, and you have 6 last year and 8 this year, and of the factors that go in the number that are from the Twin Cities.
Yes.
And how does that?
It really all depends on who applies. I think that this year we saw a number of students actually in St. Paul, Minneapolis, in the Twin Cities, whereas last year we were also here in the same cities. But I think that the general range for the farmer scholarships are concentrated here in Minneapolis because they have they're one of our big hubs is here.
Big
So that's why-
population base.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And we have a great, a Hmong community here, as Senator Mua mentioned. And I think that's why we see, actually 100% of the students that were here today were of Hmong descent.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why it was really important to have Senator Mua be here to, talk to them and mentor them and really connect with them on that level. So,
Okay.
yep.
What else can you want to let us know that I didn't ask about?
What should you know? Well, our website is www.apiasf.org. My name is Patty Limjap, and if you have any questions about applying, donating, any questions at all about the organization, feel free to email me.
Do you do other advocacy work because you're in Washington?
Well, I wish you had known about the summit Senator Mua mentioned attending. It was actually the Higher Education Summit on Asian American issues in education. So everything from, who's getting into school, who's not getting into school, what are the challenges they face in terms of getting into college and succeeding in college. Because what we're seeing more and more is that, with different studies, is that there's the level of leadership in terms of like in STEM fields, science, technology, that sort of thing. We'll see them get really big positions, but then the leadership positions are still at a rate where they're not reaching that level, becoming like vice presidents, presidents, that sort of thing. So that's something that we tackled at the higher education.
So Asian education issues around the country.
Yes.
So is it there's disparities there the same way there is in health then?
Oh, definitely. I mean, definitely. There are studies galore about who's rising to the top and who's not, and unfortunately, the Asian Americans are sort of missing that level of getting to that higher level, and we're trying to understand why.
And then there's an ethnic gap there too. Imagine where there's a stereotype of the achievers versus the newcomers, and
exactly. Actually, what's really interesting is that you have the Hispanic American Scholarship Fund, you have the African American Scholarship Funds, but the APIASF, the Asian Pacific Islander American Scholarship Fund, only started in 1991.
wow.
So we didn't have our own scholarship fund until then, because people thought this is a model minority. They're already getting scholarships because they have high grades. There's no need. But as we see today, there are 8 students that definitely need scholarship money, that definitely need the support that we have to offer. So it's really important.
Great. Thanks so much for doing.
Thank you.